Ready. Over to you, Ifat.
Good evening and welcome to our meeting number 196 of Gurugram Professional Toastmasters Club. This is Toastmaster Ifat Sergeant at Arms for today's meeting. To officially begin the meeting, let's read the club mission. We provide supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop their communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. To have a smooth meeting ahead, here are some ground rules to follow. Please keep your noise-making devices on silent mode. I'm going to take a pause for 5 seconds. You may do it now. This meeting is being recorded and it's not possible to stop it at any point of time. Please rename yourself as your role, your name, and your club name. If you're a member of Gurugram Professional Toastmasters Club, you may skip the last step. Encourage our speakers with your Indigenous smile, claps, and Zoom emoticons. Ensure audio-video check before handing over to the respective role player. Speak responsibly on religion, sex, and politics. Keep your videos on and audios off so that we can see your smiling faces. That's it from my side. I would like to welcome our club president, Toastmaster Parvez. The virtual podium is all yours, Toastmaster Parvez.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Ifat, Sergeant at Arms today. And a very warm good morning to fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. On behalf of the Executive Committee, I welcome you all to 196th meeting of Gurugram Professional Toastmasters Club. Every Toastmasters meeting is a celebration of growth. Growth in communication, leadership, and confidence. I'm inspired by the enthusiasm which I've seen here, the courage and the commitment each one of you brings to this platform. Today, we are honored to have with us a very special guest, Division Director and Distinguished Toastmaster Utkarsh Sharma. Utkarsh Sharma is a research scholar pursuing his PhD, a visiting professor, and now working with Gartner India, has left no stone unturned towards his professional transformation. He personifies passion towards learning, gratitude towards achievements, and humility towards others. An emerging leader who has a successful track record both at the club and district level in a short Toastmasters journey. He has led both his club Turning Point Toastmasters and area to President Distinguished. We hope he continues the form and achieves President Distinguished status for our division as well this year. We are grateful to have your presence here and would like to invite you to share a few words of inspiration with all of us. Over to you, Toastmaster Utkarsh Sharma.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Parvez. Can we have a huge round of applause for him, firstly?
Yes.
It was such a graceful introduction, and I'm truly, truly grateful. It's lovely to be here Sunday morning at at Gurugram Professional Toastmasters. I don't know whether you all will relate to this or not, but I'm pretty sure that the seasoned Toastmasters will surely do. I get this constant nagging question from my friends, family, and even my parents, which is that, why are you so invested in Toastmasters? It's a lot of unpaid voluntary work, and you already have so much on your plate, and you heard it from Parvez. I have my PhD thesis to write. I have a full-time corporate job. Why are you so invested in all of this? I get this nagging question all the time. And to that, I always say one thing. Because Toastmasters gives me much more than it ever takes from me. It has given me a chance to sort of help find confidence in my voice and to an extent who I am. And when that happens, then via Toastmaster, you don't just build speakers or communicators. You can possibly change careers, relationships, and even lives. And that's what I abide by, and which is why I'm so invested in this platform. Let me start off by giving you a background about myself and how I joined Toastmasters and the lessons that I learned along the way. For that, I have to start right from the word go, right from the beginning. So I was born and brought up in a very small town of Fatehpur Sikri. How many of you are even aware of Fatehpur Sikri? All right, some of you like Buland Darwaza, right? That's the thing. It's a small town, 40 kilometers away from Agra, and my father was posted there. And I started off my journey in a vernacular medium, that is Hindi medium. So till standard 2, I was in a Hindi medium school. But somehow it dawned on my father when I turned 8 that my kids won't be able to have the exposure and, you know, the grooming. So he decided that we would build a home in Agra. And since then, he has been shuttling between the two places. So at 8, when I moved to Agra from a Hindi medium to a swanky English medium school, that change was certainly swift, and no prize for guessing. I struggled. I really, really struggled. I remember that I would often come home crying because I could barely understand what the teachers were saying in English. And sort of my English language felt like an enemy that I would never be able to conquer. But one thing I can say about myself, that I always had one thing in plenty right since childhood, and that was grit. So instead of giving up, I worked harder. I stumbled, I faltered, but I kept going. And over time, I did get better. But somehow deep down, that sense of hesitation never fully went away. You know, your first comfort was always Hindi because I started off my journey from there. I would still second guess myself right through my adolescent and teenage years. So when I actually finally stumbled on Toastmasters and joined this platform, I joined it because I wanted to remove this sense of hesitation and remove the stage fright. And I would say that it's still a work in progress for sure. But what's really interesting is that a few months into my Toastmasters journey, I realized that Toastmasters had so much more to offer than just learning how to communicate well. And to give credit to my always eager to learn attitude, there was one simple mantra I decided to follow right from the start. And it's something I would truly appreciate and encourage others to do that, which is I said yes to opportunities more often than I said no. And this kind of is true when you're starting out your journey anywhere. You must say yes to more opportunities than you said no. And there were times even when I wasn't even sure if I was ready. For example, I think Toastmasters Nimit might relate to this. He asked me to be a contest chair in one of the contests for Gurugram Professional Toastmasters, even when I realized that I even haven't seen a contest in a passive form once. I took up that opportunity to be a contest chair because I somehow believe that you can always step back later if that's not the right fit, but saying yes at least keeps you in the loop. And with that attitude, that every yes kind of stretched me. It taught me something new. It brought me closer to the leader I never thought I could be. Like a classic case of, if you don't say yes, you will never know what you're capable of. So that's a learning I would love to impart and love to kind of give as a takeaway for sure. And it somehow reminds me of the moment from Ramayana, which is going to be our theme today, which is that when Lord Hanuman was reminded of his strength, right? You know, all his life, he had immense power within him, but somehow he had to be reminded by others to tap into it. And once he believed, there was no limit to what he could achieve. And that's what Toastmasters does for us. I strongly believe that the Toastmasters is an investment in yourself. And quoting distinguished Toastmaster Radhi Spear, who is the current international president of Toastmasters, she says Toastmasters gives you real world skills which can be used in all aspects of your life. And I couldn't agree more with this. And I'm also very proud to say that I've somehow lived that experience. Talking of my leadership journey, I started off my journey as the Vice President Education of Turning Point Toastmasters. And that role taught me a lot. I would say that was one of my cherished roles I've ever taken. At that time, our sister club, Turning Point Toastmasters, was sort of in a transition phase. Members were few, role takers were even fewer. But as a vice president education, I had made up my mind. I would not give this role my absolute best. I was determined that no matter what, the quality of our meetings would not drop. And I think distinguished Toastmaster Anand would agree. He would always pitch in no matter what. I would nag him every now and then. And I would also make sure that if I have to take 2-3 roles myself, I would do it. But the quality of the meetings would not drop. And somewhere that tenacity started to show results. When you sort of consistently work hard to uphold quality, you start to build momentum. And slowly but surely, people began stepping up. And over time, I'm proud to say that snowballed into something bigger until we reached to a point where we were actually taking role nominations a month in advance. Yes, that also happened in Turning Point Toastmasters. We were taking nominations a month in advance. So sort of it taught me a simple but powerful lesson that if you stay committed, you don't just hold things together, you can inspire others to join the bandwagon as well. And then from there on, I continued my journey as the president of the club in the next term. And then, of course, the club solidified further and we standardized and sort of automated a lot of things. Like I remember, we sort of prepared an open spreadsheet for introductions. We had an open spreadsheet for nominations, a lot of other things. And then with all these collective efforts, we took our club to the present distinguished status after, I think, a hiatus of several years, if I'm not wrong. And then from the next term itself, I moved to the district leadership and became an area director, of course. And oh boy, I would say once you move beyond the 4 walls of the club, it's a different ballgame altogether. Like serving in the club EC is one thing. Once you move to the district leadership, it's a different test altogether. So just to give you a context, I mean, especially the newer Toastmasters, an area director is given a responsibility of 3 to 5 clubs, and that's comprises of your area. And you have to make sure that sort of the club thrives and they have the renewals on time and so on and so forth. So basically what a president does for a club, but basically president is directly responsible and AD is sort of a supervisor for 3 to 5 clubs. So for me as an AD, things got interesting right away. So when the first renewals came in September, 2 out of the 3 clubs in my area began planning to shut down. And that's when I was really tested as a leader in Toastmaster, right? You've just started off your journey and 2 out of 3 clubs are vanishing. They are moving out, they're dying. And so funny thing is, when September came, my area got reduced from 3 to 1 and it comprised of only 1 club. And guess what? It was my home club, Turning Point Toastmasters. And that's when I remembered distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh, who gave me only one advice when I became an area director. He told me that don't just remain an area director for Turning Point Toastmasters, work for other clubs too. I know you're passionate for your club, but work hard for other clubs too. And guess what? 3 months into my area director term, I was the AD of Turning Point Toastmasters only because the other 2 were dying. I remember calling Toastmaster Nimit during this time and telling that, crying and cribbing that nothing is working out for me. I'm failing big time. And maybe I shouldn't have signed up for this experience. And of course, Toastmaster Nimit was very gracious and really uplifted me and gave me a bigger picture. But crib or no crib, I had no choice but to look ahead and work hard and to make things brighter. And from there on, I kind of picked up the stride. I decided to become an unofficial club coach for one of the clubs and somehow convinced them not to shut down. I really had to pitch that, give us one more opportunity, and I promise that you will understand the true value of Toastmasters. So I promised them that I'll be visiting their club every week for a couple of months and watch closely of their progress. And I'm proud to say that we not only managed to revive the club, but it is a thriving club now, and the renewals are happening without any fuss. So that is one of my proudest achievements. The other clubs, we did manage to keep it afloat, but of course, it requires a lot more support even now. The other thing that I'm very, very proud of in my area director term is that I got an incredible opportunity to charter 2 new clubs. So that is something that Toastmasters offer you. You get the opportunity to sell the brand of Toastmasters, speak to the deans of universities, senior leaders from the corporate houses, lead demo meetings in front of 400 people. These are the opportunities that Toastmasters can give you, which you could leverage to evolve your personality, to evolve yourself and become better. And this is what I urge everyone to kind of leverage and tap onto these opportunities. And somehow from that hellish start as an area director, I managed to make my area president distinguished. I still don't know how, but I'm really proud of that as well. But more than any recognition or these titles, what I truly value are the lessons that I learned through this journey, which is that leadership is not always about having everything figured out. It's about showing up and having that grit, no matter you feel that things will be uncertain. I learned that the power of sort of persistent asking for help is very, very important, no matter how small or big. I called up a lot of people and seek advice. Of course, now I'm continuing my journey as the division director this term, and that's a different adventure altogether and a different story. Maybe 6 months down the line, I'll share my experience. But when I look back at how I started, uncertain, overwhelmed, sometimes even ready to give up, these are certain life lessons that even I realize how much I've evolved in this journey. And this journey has shaped me as a person. It taught me resilience, it taught me humility, and it taught me the power of believing in myself, even when things seemed impossible. And I'm truly, truly thankful and grateful to this club, who has been my second home always. I have loved this club here. I know almost everyone, maybe not the newer ones, but definitely the older lot I know very well. Its club members, distinguished Toastmaster Anand, Toastmaster Nimit, I have huge gratitude. You have been the guiding light and always cheering me on, supporting me every step of the way. And I can just hope in some way I can pass on the same support, encouragement, and belief to others, just like it was given to me. Thank you so much. It was an absolute privilege to come here today, and have a lovely Sunday and have a great meeting, everyone. Thank you, and over to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Utkarsh, for your informative and inspiring speech. I'm sure we all will be benefited from your insights on why it's important to invest in Toastmasters Club and continuously learn from Toastmasters. So thank you very much. Now I welcome our guest. If someone is left for introduction, or it's only Benuraj and Zabit today.
We have Binu Tyagi
Binu Tyagi, okay.
and Shakti Prasad, who are yet to introduce.
Okay, so I invite Binu Tyagi to come on the stage, on the virtual stage, and introduce himself. Yeah, Binu Tyagi, please come on the stage. You are on mute, yeah.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I belong to North Delhi Toastmaster Club, which is holding meeting at Rohini. I just got a notification about your club meeting on the WhatsApp, and the theme was this Valmiki Ramayan. So I logged in to see how this meeting goes because I have interest in mythological themes. I do read a lot of books about that. I just wanted to how this meeting goes, and I'm new Toastmaster. I have joined April. I wanted to get insights about other clubs so that I can inculcate those things in my club too. I'm handling as a PR. That's my purpose, and I want to meet new people. Let's see how it
Okay.
gets. I'm excited.
Okay. Thank you very much, Binu, for your introduction and the purpose you have mentioned. I'm sure that you will be benefited because the topic which is today is a very spiritual topic, and many people are looking forward to hearing from Toastmaster Jaspreet. Who is the other guest? I think it is Abhishek or...
We have Abhishek and Shakti. We can go one by one. Shakti first, then Abhishek.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. My name is Shakti Prasad. So I am based out in Bangalore. This is the first time I am in this kind of meetings and all. So, actually it is introduced to this one from my office colleague, Mr. Nimit. So, I previously when I am discussed in our office, so I don't know about this Toastmaster and all. So, first time I heard from this from the Nimit. When I am in the discussed in our meeting. So I am having a little bit depression in my office, saying that I have a language and English language and communication skill and all. So when I'm discussing with the Nimit, and Nimit suggested few of the weaknesses what I have, and also he suggested to you can improve by Toastmaster Club. You have a one forum, and he explained it one by one. So I am surprised that this is also it is there in our this one, and also Nimit has given a one platform. So this gives me an interesting subject for me as well. So yeah, when I am disturbed, so he give a one line and one path. So after that he give a I am also in the coming Sunday. We have a meeting and all. So he give a link and all. So this is the first time I wanted to learn. I wanted to know the more about in upcoming days and all. So thank you for everyone and Nimit for giving an opportunity and looking for the better learning from this forum. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, guest Shakti. Welcome you in the meeting.
Thank
Now I invite Abhishek, guest Abhishek.
Hi, this is Abhishek Kumar this side. I am actually Delhi based, but I am dialing from Auckland. So, good morning to everybody. So, the main reason that I'm trying to join to Toastmaster is that there is some problem whenever I'm meeting to a new people. Suddenly, see, I have been an IT guy, and my day-to-day responsibility is to interact with our client. And most of my clients are basically they are either US based or Singapore based or New Zealand based. So as long as I'm familiar with the client, I know how to communicate with them. I never feel any uneasiness with the overall communication style. But the moment if a new person steps in, suddenly I just go blank. So this is the thing that I'm trying to improve for myself. So somebody recommended me to see if Toastmaster Club can help you. So that's why I just yesterday only I reached out to Nitin, I guess. Yeah. So from there, I thought it was a Ramayan session. So let's join and see how everything is going on there.
So thank you very much, guest Abhishek. You're at the right place. And I think the problem which you have will be sorted out when you will be attending the club's meeting frequently.
Also, when it comes to interviews, suddenly the person is a very different entity. There are some moments that I just ran out of the words.
Yeah. This happens with all of us. Thank you. Thank you very much. So without further delay, let me hand over the virtual stage to our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Jaspreet Kaur, who will be taking us through today's theme and guide us throughout the meeting. Before inviting her on the stage, I would like to introduce her. Toastmaster Jaspreet Kaur is a professional writer with a master's degree in English, and she is a storyteller with a great love for music and the written word. She has lot of insight in the Toastmasters. She has served with distinction as the Vice President Public Relations and President of her club, as well as Associate District Public Relations Manager for District 41. I welcome Toastmaster Jaspreet to come on the virtual stage and take the charge of today's meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Jaspreet Kaur.
Thank you, Toastmaster Parviz. I welcome you all to the meeting, and I am really flattered when I'm listening that everybody is super excited for this theme. And trust me, I am too. And I know, like somebody, if people know me, they know like I may not be as very traditional. I'm very like Western oriented, but this theme specifically changed my viewpoint, and when I learned about Valmiki's Ramayana, not just Ramayana that I grew up listening to, I learned that it's completely different than what we all were listening in all these years or in textbooks even. So the real story is really hidden and we are not aware of it. So I want to let's start with positive vibes and say Jai Shri Ram. Just
Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram.
Jai
Shri
And
Jai Shri Ram.
And I want to ask you, how many of you are aware already about the Ramayana that we already grew up listening to? Just raise your hand. Right? So most are. What about Valmiki Ramayana? How many of you are aware? The original one that was written in Sanskrit.
Well,
Okay, I
I'm
was not expecting it. Two people already are. Great. So that's wonderful. Now, this is something that I want to discuss, that and all the knowledge that I got today is not given by me. Obviously, I want to dedicate and as well as give you the reference where I learned all this about. And I started in April month. Um, I was watching a podcast, and eventually it led to a channel. So I want to. So the person from whom I learned is Yashodeep Dharodar, and he has studied the Sanskrit version of the original text for 6 or 7 years, maybe it's more now. But he has definitely mastered, and his interpretations are more exact. So many interpretations, whether it's in English or Hindi, are not exactly accurate, or is not giving us the real uh, real meaning and the real stories that are there. He has done it in the most greatest way, and his translations and his language skills are more refined than the others. So let me share the channel with you. So this is the channel is 21 Notes on YouTube channel. You can find 21 Notes, and all the stories are given in small snippets as well as in good English. Because my Hindi and Sanskrit both are weak, so English works best. So now, and the second person, and where I learned all this about it, you can just go to that podcast. We all know of Ranveer show. You must have heard Beer Biceps, right? So that channel he has introduced this Yashodeep Dharodar, and I've watched the entire podcast, which is of 2 hours each. And the podcast is really amazing. I was not able to like put the phone down when I was listening to it. And this is really like it gives amazing insights. So let me share a few insights. What are those? For example, there is a mention of Lakshman Rekha. That doesn't exist in the original text. Second, there's no race of Rakshasas. Rakshasas are not a race. They are just human. And which is completely different in the Ramayana we grew up. And the third one is so like it was like super surprising. Third one is Hanuman. Lord Hanuman was never a monkey. He was a human. So I was completely blown away when I got to learn, and I was definitely finding out is this true or not, and I did, and it was super surprising. And I really prefer the original text way more than the version that I grew up listening to. It is more real, it has better story, and it is now we understand why a lot of others are called it as a history, not mythology. And how many of you still consider as mythology? Or just raise your hand. It's okay. A lot of us really believe it as mythology because there are mentions about the yogic powers or certain things that we don't believe that they might be true, right? So we can understand that, and those yogic powers or any special powers are not mentioned in the Valmiki Ramayana. So I can completely agree that it's a history, and it's a Vedic history which is written 12,000 BC. It happened, and it is written as a biography of Sri Ram, Lord Sri Ram. So that happened around 12,000 BC. So this story is from that time. Obviously, there's no accurate timeline detected, but this is the best timeline that has been detected is 12,000 BC. Now, I will definitely discuss and tell you all about the specific stories, and will show you all the details later on. I will make sure that it's interesting for you. Let me now call our general evaluator of today, Sanjita. I'm sorry. Yeah, Sanjita, general evaluator of today, who is a development professional working in Grant Thornton as an assistant manager now. She came to Toastmasters to improve her delivery style and reduce the pause and filler words. Let's call upon the very charming Sanjita.
Thank you so much. Am I visible and audible?
Yes, you
Yeah.
are.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. So I'll be the general evaluator for today. And my role as a general evaluator is to observe, appreciate, and evaluate the role players. So the role players are divided. So basically, the evaluation, my bad. The evaluation is divided into 3 sections. Number one is the prepared speak sections evaluators evaluation. So we have one speaker today who is Mr. Amit and will be evaluated by Ms. Ifat. All the best to both of you. The second is my tag team, who will help me to understand the flow, the conciseness, the fluency of the role players. And number third, and lastly, I will observe the meeting and I'll present my evaluation at the end of the meeting. With that, I would like to call upon my tag team. Number one is the timer, who is played by Mr. Ravinder Kumar. Ravinder, can you just explain your role a little bit?
Thank you, Toastmaster Sanjita. So this is Avinder. I am the timer of today's meeting. In this role, I'll be monitoring that we all stay within the time, and there are time defined for each of the role. Prepared speeches, it is 5 to 7 minutes. 5 minutes green card, you have achieved your minimum threshold. 6-minute yellow and 7-minute red. You will be getting 30-second grace period. So I'll be flashing cards on my screen, which is kind of indicator to you, get to know that where do you stand in these different timelines. Second, table topics. Time is 1 to 2 minutes. 1 minute green, 1 minute 30-second yellow, 2 minute red. You get 30-second grace period. Last one is evaluation. The speech evaluation time is 2 to 3 minutes. 2 minute green, 2 minute 30-second yellow, 3 minute red. So I'll be flashing cards on the screen which you can pay attention, and this is an indication for you to understand where do you stand in your speech in terms of the time. So in the end, when I'm called upon, I'll be presenting my report. Over to you, Sanjita.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ravinder. Next is our R counter. So our counter is played by Jaydeep. So Toastmaster Jaydeep. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sanjita. Hello and good morning, everyone. I am Jaydeep, and today I will be playing role as a R counter. As a R counter, I will monitor and observe your speech very carefully, and I will note down if you use any inappropriate words like and, well, so, you know, all right, or you use any filler sounds, for example, air, or you use any double or repetitive words and such as, or you repeat any words from your speech. So I will note down those all the filler words and repetitive words, and at the end of the speech, end of the meeting, when the TMD invited me, I will share my report with all of you. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Sanjita.
Thank you so much, Jaydeep. Now we have grammarian Toastmaster Anand. Anand, over to you.
Thank you so much, Madam General Evaluator. Greetings, everyone. In today's meeting, I will be playing the role of grammarian. That means I will be the custodian of all the good usages and note down all the not so good usages, probably suggest to the best of my ability a way to better say those phrases or words or pronunciations. In addition, I have, instead of a word, an idiom of the day. An idiom is a proverb, you can say, that has a literal but also a metaphorical meaning. In today's theme's context, I have brought a proverb as an idiom, that is, faith can move mountains. Originally, it is attributed to Bible. Jesus is said to have spoken this phrase earlier. But I think in the Ramayana story, even for Hanuman, this phrase fits perfectly. He literally, not metaphorically, he literally moved a mountain, trusting his faith, his devotion. Whenever someone uses this faith can move mountain phrase, we give a thumbs up to appreciate silently in a non-verbal way. The meaning of this phrase I have posted, but it can loosely mean to having a strong belief or a conviction and achieving next to impossible task because of that. So whenever you get an opportunity, do use faith can move mountains. I will be posting this repeatedly. Let's have a wonderful and enriching meeting. And remember, your faith in Toastmasters can move the mountain of your own career. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Grammarian Toastmaster Anand. And that is indeed a very great, inspiring proverb or idiom that you have chosen. Of course, fate will help us to move mountain. And with that, before I conclude this, the first half basically, I would like to urge all of you to participate in the table topic section, which will help you to understand yourself, just like the characters in Ramayana. Of course, I have not read Valmiki's Ramayana. I've heard a lot about it. And I urge all of you to understand, just as the characters in Ramayana, be it Lord Ram or Lord Hanuman, you also, participate in the table topic section or wherever you can get that kind of, opportunity to understand yourself. And then, because the Toastmaster is basically all about feedback, so it's all about the journey. So with this, I hand over the stage to Toastmaster TMOD Jaspreet Kaur. Yeah, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sanjita. Now, with this, I would like to start the speech section that we're all waiting for. So before that, I would like to call evaluator number 1, Ifat Aslam, on stage, who is serving as secretary of the club of Gurugram Professional Toastmaster. And she has been a wonderful, amazing, charismatic VPE last term. It's my honor to call evaluator 1 on stage.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jaspreet, for the wonderful introduction. So, my speaker is Toastmaster Amit Singhal, who is pursuing the project Pathway of Presentation Mastery. It's his level 2 project 2. The purpose of this project is for the speaker is to understand his communication style. The duration of his speech will be 5 to 7 minutes, and the title of his speech is Believe in Divine, a Personal Exploration. Best of luck to you, Toastmaster Amit Singhal. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ifat. Now let's spotlight Toastmaster Amit. Let us do a audio and video check. Could you please unmute?
Am I audible?
Yeah, please speak a longer sentence.
Am I audible now?
Yeah, just speak. It is a beautiful day.
It is a beautiful day.
Okay. Yes, you're audible. Toastmaster Amit Singla, believe in divine, a personal exploration. Believe in divine, a personal exploration. Toastmaster Amit Singla. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jaspreet. My dear friend and fellow Toastmaster and guest, in a world of chaos, suffering, and unanswered questions, million people still believe and have faith in something or someone that is greater than self. So that is what drives people have hope in God. Have you ever believe that there is something in the world that is invisible, that is guiding us as well as universe. I do believe, because I have seen all this in my since my childhood. I have seen my mother offer worship 2 times a day. My father, when got up in the morning, he touched the ground and feel the sense of gratitude. That's what I have seen. So all these things inculcate in me and further strengthen with number of events happen in my life. So I number of events happen in life, many, but here I will mention two events that further strengthen my belief in God. So first of the incident I want to narrate is, this is about year 1998, when my board examination for 12th standard was ongoing. So there I have some personal issue, my family issue. In my final examination, I was not able to repeat to follow my books for last 2 days. On the day of examination, my family suggested me to at least take the exam. With no hope, my examination center was approximately 20 kilometers from my hometown, Bhiwadi, and I used to take public transport bus to reach to examination. With no hope, I just entered into the bus, and with some hope, I just opened the book and read through the books randomly. Then I enter in the exam again. I was feeling that this is the first time I got fail in the exam. Such fear was there in my mind. But what happened when question paper come on my desk? Just with with no hope, I opened the question paper. I was blank. What happened? To my surprise, what I have gone through for last 30 minutes, 90% of that is there in my exam. So what I turn up the my paper and write down the main points so as I will not forget. So that was the surprise, and finally I secured 85% marks in that exam, where I don't hope even get 33% passing marks in that. That further strengthened my belief in God. Someone is there, invisible, that is sensing, and that is where I believe in that is really happening. So, my dear friend, so second instance happened in year 2019. I used to travel to Delhi to Bengaluru for my business travel on alternate week, and I took the flight at 7 a.m. in the morning, usually alternate week. So as I believe in God, I also used to offer the food to animal and birds in daily routine. So on that day, it was happen. I was just on time. I started at 5:15 from home, and from home to airport, it's 1 hour journey without any break. So my heart say, no, I should offer the food to the animals because they are waiting for me, because I daily used to do that. Other way, my mind say, no, no. If I will do that, my flight will I will not able to catch the flight. So what happened? So at least in the juggling of war between mind and heart, my heart win, and I went to offer the food. It took 30 minutes, and it was when I reached the airport, it was just 30 minutes. I was feared that I will not be allowed to enter, because for last 1 year I was traveling like that alternate week. I have never seen the flight delayed. On that day, the flight was delayed by half an hour. I will say again, miracle. Something happening in back of uh, me that is supporting me. If I'm doing something good, I will get something good in return. So this is the story what I have felt. In this is these are the two instances. There are many instances that happen in life that further strengthen me. That's why one of the thing also I learned across that, see, we have up, low, and high in the time. Everybody had. So what I have learned over that is, if you do what you do in your difficult time, in your good time, your bad time will never come. So that's why that is the thing. You, in any situation, do your best, and Other things will be taken care by God or Almighty that is invisibly working on that. That is my thoughts that I just give my thoughts to you. So further, just thinking of to you whether you still believe in that Almighty or invisible that is guiding universe. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amit, for an amazing speech. Let's give a round of applause. And please, timer, let us know after when 1 minute is over. And give your feedback. Your positive feedback can be shared with everyone. And if you have any feedback or something to give, to please share in personal chat. I must say that it was really a speech that really moved mountains, the fates that moved mountains.
One minute is over.
Thank you. Now we are back to the theme, and I have definitely something for you. So there are 6 books originally written by Valmiki. Number 1 is Balakand, Ayodhya Kand. Third is Aranya Kand, maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong. Kri Krishna Kand, Sundar Kand, and Yudh Kand. Now, I'm not really great at pronouncing these, but anyway, the story entire is ideally we always knew that it's really Lord Ram against Ravan, right? It was entirely like that when we watched movies, because I grew up watching movies. And what I got to learn from the story that only in the last book is like the Yudh Kand where the Ravana actually came, and he was not invincible, by the way. It was a very different way of portraying him, and he was never a good person to begin with. He was depicted because we listen to a lot of stories that are not true, like there was another part where Lord Ram left Sita, or where Ravan treated women nicely. That actually never happened. He was completely a different human being. Now, how the story really began, there are certain things that I want to point out. Specifically, my favorite one is Lord Hanuman's. Um, now, we got to learn at some point that he used to get bigger. He has that yogic power that he used to get bigger in size, and he can be small as well. That actually is just a reference, is a metaphor for saying that when somebody grow in confidence, they grow, like the size really becomes big. So when we do the Hanuman chanting or any of that, we get that confidence and eventually the strength. So when somebody is standing upright, they're already like taller. So that was a metaphor used. That it wasn't a yogic power. Second, he was a human when I mentioned. This is the coolest revelation for me. I got to learn that those were forest dwellers, in fact. When Sugriv or they met Lord Hanuman, he was a messenger to Lord Sugriv. And when they met, he actually Sugriv asked Lord Hanuman because they saw Ram and Lakshman coming towards their mahal. Eventually, he asked Lord Hanuman to change his appearance, and he asked him to remove his ornaments. remove his tail, remove the mask that you're wearing. Exactly, this is the reference that is written, that remove that and go in your natural human form. And then he goes. So this is how we got to learn that they all are wearing ornaments. Even in the battlefield, there is a mention that when they go to sleep or when they're resting, they remove their tails and they remove the mask that they were wearing. It was just a ornament. It was never real. And when the Hanuman's tail got burned and he was going towards the Lanka, obviously burning the entire Lanka. The reason why he was not hurt the entire time because of the burning sensation, because it was not a real tail. And this is a huge revelation that in the tribal, because in that time, there were a lot of forest dwellers or tribes who used to wear these ornaments and they used to dress up like these animals. So when we have a mention of a vulture, we have a mention of a bear as well, a vulture, and so many different animals who are talking. They're not animals, they are just dressed up animals. They are just dressed up. So let me share a picture. Now these are the tribes. Sorry. Is my screen visible?
Not
You can
yet.
see
Yeah,
like how
it is now.
some people really dressed up. Some people really dress like this, like a wolf. There are a lot of tribes who dress up like animals and they wear these ornaments. These are not great depictions because obviously they are based on what it is now. But even today in Rome, in Europe, there are still tribes that exist who wear clothes like a bear. They wear the bear skin on top. And that still exists. The tribe still exists. You can definitely Google it in Europe. So they were tribal people. So this is a huge revelation that I found out. And other revelations, if you have any specific one that you want to point out or you want to know that is this true or not, you can ask that. Do you have any specific? Yeah.
I want to understand from you what is the source of information that you're referring to as a proof of authentic information.
Yes. So I already mentioned at the very start that Yashadip Dharodhar is the person where I took the reference from. And I watched the podcast series given by the Yashadip Dharodhar. So you can definitely check out his channel called 21 Notes.
Right.
And the podcast is given and it's definitely did it for the international audience so that it can reach to the international audience, because there are a lot of translations in Hindi and other languages, but for people who can't understand that well, the Sanskrit and even the Hindi. So I think this translation version, and he's really knowledgeable in that. You can definitely check out the authenticity on these channels. I already gave the reference to. I can
That's
share the
very
links.
good. Just a word of caution to you, because what happens, Ramayana is a very vast subject. But it has been, the original one is Valmiki Ramayana, then Tulsi Ramayana, then Kamba Ramayana. There are other many interpretations of Ramayana, right? Now, here when you're talking of, see, I'm just trying to point it out. My perspective, totally, I respect your.
We will discuss this at the end of the session.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else has a question? No? Okay, I can move to the other stories then. So in the Lakshman Rekha specifically, the way it is mentioned, it is actually crossing the boundary. That's what it means. Because Sita really said something to Lord Lakshman when he was protecting her while Ram went for hunting the deer, the golden deer. She said something so horrible that even Lakshman describes it as like his ears were bleeding. So that's where his boundary got crossed. So there was no Lakshman Rekha and there was no mention of it. And eventually the stories that we hear today, they were edited out. Because obviously these stories and there are certain elements that you can't describe to children when they're so young, or they're so harsh. And specifically, we don't understand the kind of emotion that adults can understand and they have experienced the same. So this is why there are 12,000 or 1,200, sorry, there are so many, like 1,400 or something, different stories that are there. Some are Obviously, a lot of them are edited out and they have put their own spin on it, and that is true. Another incident is specifically, the Ram Setu one. So it was never a Ram Setu, it was a nail Setu. It was a construction of a bridge, and they were not floating stones. They were actually made of wood and stones on top. So the wood was used to make it float. And it was a huge construction, and they had the best builders at that time. So that's how it was built in just 5 days. It was built in just 5 days. That is unbelievable. And there are many such stories that I will share later on. But now let's call upon our table topic master of today. Our table topic master, Parvez is he is at a senior position in the largest flexible packaging company of India. He has a BTech, MTech, and MBA from reputed colleges of India. He is pursuing a PhD, and his hobbies are traveling and singing. Let's call upon Toastmaster Parvez, who is currently serving as president of our club.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Jaspreet, and a very warm good morning to all the Toastmasters and dear guests. I'm Toastmaster Parvez, and I welcome you all to this amazing section of Table Topics. Table topic is a type of mini speech which has opening, body, and conclusion. The benefits that we get out of it is it improves impromptu skills. It encourages people to participate in impromptu speech. It gives us an opportunity to members who have not taken any rules. It also gives an opportunity to guests to participate in table topics. Time limit for the table topics speeches between 1 minute to 2 minutes with 30 seconds on the upper side. So a person can speak for at least 1 minute and a maximum of 2.5 minutes. So I encourage all of you to participate and use the word of the day, which is very unique, which has been coined. This is the first time I've come to know that an idiom can also be used, because every time it was normally a word which was being used as a word of the day. But now today it is faith that can move mountains. So faith is very powerful. It has the capacity, ability, and power to move the mountains. And I'm sure all of you will use this word and try to move the mountain with your faith. So I invite all of you to participate, but first I would like to invite the seasoned Toastmaster who will demonstrate exactly how the Toastmaster topic is being table topic is being dealt with. So I will invite Toastmaster Nimit Mittal to come on the stage, on the spotlight, and participate in the table topic. So the topic for you, Nimit, is should moonlighting be seen as a threat to organizational loyalty? Should moonlighting be seen as a threat to organizational loyalty?
Right. There was a time when I was new in my corporate job, and at that time, I was already sold out to an idea that why not I be just like any other aspiring entrepreneurs or self-made people? Why not I try that? So I ventured into my own business, started all of that in my part time. 9 to 6 office, yes, but I was more motivated about 6 to 9 beyond that, in where I went out, did cold contacting, expanded my network, and then be it any city, be it Bangalore, be it Gurgaon, be it Delhi, be it anywhere, wherever I went, I just did that. I established it to a level because I was not very interested in my job. Yes, that slowed down me, but at the same time, I realized it is something which is sharpening me. It was something which was preparing me for later, for future. Just like Toastmasters, where we come here to sharpen our skills so that we are better at our what we are doing. So moonlighting, yes, sometimes it is taken negatively, that it can hamper and may not be loyal to the corporate, but I believe that it is everyone's right, and if it is not intervening with what we are primarily doing at our job, it is just making our own self, our personality, a bit more sharper, stronger, and more successful. That is my take. What about you, Table Topics Master?
I fully agree with you, Toastmaster Nimit, that to sharpen other skills, it's important to be involved in some other activities, as you have mentioned about Toastmaster, because Toastmaster is giving us a lot of chance for improvement. Opportunities are there, and that's why people are there. So definitely, it is something which is very much required in today's generation. Sticking to the corporate world only is not going to give you everything. So very good take on that, Toastmaster Nimit. I would like to invite Toastmaster Venugopal to be on the spotlight. And the topic for you, Raj Venugopal, is failure the best teacher? Is failure the best teacher? Guest Raj Venugopal.
One second. Just a minute, sir. Am I audible?
Yes.
Sorry, I missed the question because there was background noise.
Okay, no problem.
Can you please repeat it?
Yeah. So the topic for you is failure the best teacher? Is failure the best teacher? Raj Venugopal.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir, for giving me this opportunity. I'm fully with that. Failure is the best stepping stone for success. I will start with an argument, and I will also give few examples to prove that is the case. Now, what happens? You start doing certain things in a certain way and ensure that you always see everybody works for success. But what happens if it is not properly planned, or if it is not properly executed, if all parameters are not properly checked and validated before going for the execution, you tend to fail. And there are also certain external factors which makes the whole your endeavor a failure. And I'm fully on that. A case in point would be, I would like to, for example, I would like to pursue higher education. Now, for that higher education, you need to clearly plan what are your family responsibilities, what are your corporate responsibilities, what are your other, how much time you can, how much time you can, sorry, I'm missing that word, allocate for this particular field of study. So if it is not properly planned, then you're bound to fail. But if you plan it in a very good way, you fail. And that failure will give you lessons. And the lessons will give you, better planning and better success in life. Thank you.
Thank you very much, guest Raj Venugopal. Very well said how the success can be achieved. If there is a failure, it is definitely going to give us a kind of kick, understanding about the reason, all those things. And again, you can plan it better. Can I invite Toastmaster Ravinder? Toastmaster Ravinder to come on the stage. And
Ravinder is a timer. Perhaps I will ask you to cover the other non-role players and members, and then come to Ravinder. And when Ravinder presents, I will time for him.
Anyone who has not participated today, any Toastmaster? Anand?
We have Sameer, we have Saurabh, Abhishek.
Okay, so can I invite Toastmaster Sameer?
Yes, sir. Sure.
Come on the spotlight. Oh, you are there.
Yeah.
Welcome. The topic for you is will AI and automation reduce the need for moonlighting or increase it? The topic for you is will AI and automation reduce the need for moonlighting or increase it? Toastmaster Samir.
Good afternoon, Toastmasters. I'm in the world of business transformation, and we deal with deploying agents, Gen AI all the time. What I see right now is in the corporate world, there's a shortage of very specialized skills like in agentic. When we get a project, we deploy an army of resources, like the whole team, all that. But our clients sometimes need more agile thinking on the ground. They don't need a team. So, for example, in Europe, there are some, you can say, even garages who are one-man person and who are able to do everything, right? From project management, agentic, and be flexible on they decide on the fly and adapt to the latest. Even my son started working in a small startup company, US, and on his own, he has been able to build a whole marketing stack on his own, just with one person, another person guiding him. So in the short term, there's a shortage, and it will this new area will invite a lot of very sharp expert. But in the long term, it will reduce to overall decline, not in the specialized area, but in other areas. That's the goal of this technology. That's how I think of it. Short term, yes. So take advantage where you want to be super specialized in one area, industry, and I think you will go places. There's never be a shortage of your resources, your skills. And Toastmasters will, of course, help you enhance and reach that further. Over to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Samir. Very well said. And the next speaker can be guest Zabid. Can you come on the spotlight? So guest Zabid, the topic for you is the one habit that changed my life. The one habit that changed my life. Guest Zabid.
Hi, am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes, very much.
Pardon, one second, the question, sir.
The one habit that changed my life. The one habit that changed my life.
Okay, thanks for giving me this topic, and I'm very glad to this topic. The change is changing when I was, suffering in my life, starting my journey in Delhi. That time, I was doing my little job in offices. Then I got opportunity. Someone who my one of my friend from Kanpur, and he and I same company was working in very good company today. So then we are discussing that how we improve ourselves, how we growth and good salary, good job. Then another person listened my topic, and he advised me to you are working in Delhi, but you are from West Bengal. You are going on 1 hour, after 2 hours you are going. Better than you go on foreign like Dubai or any other place. Then I started that surprised that how can I go, sir? Then the person advised me that you try also, and change yourself, and you learn it, and how you go. You are working in software, I mean designs. Then he advised me try to designing line and graphic design and another part. You should try, and you will get chance one day. I believe it. Then I started, that the time I got my change my life, that I should try always, that if I tried, then I will succeed. But otherwise, if I not try, then how we will succeed? So that is the change point, sir. It was in my life. Thank you, sir.
Very good. Yeah, very good, Zabid. Very well described how you have made the transition and got the success with the change habit that you adopted. Thank you very much. May I request Binu Tyagi to come, Toastmaster Binu Tyagi to come on the spotlight? Okay, so Binu Tyagi, the topic for you is...
Just a second, sir. Can we have audio video check once?
Yeah. Binu, can you please
Okay,
speak?
am I audible?
Yes, very well. Okay, so I'm giving you the topic. The success is more about mindset than talent. Success is more about mindset than talent. Toastmaster Binu Tyagi.
That's a very good point that success is about mindset, not about talent. Because I have also believed in my life. How can we say that a newborn is born with this talent or with some other talent? I think as we grow up in life, it is our mindset that we keep on growing and that helps us in the success of life. I know that I belong to a very far away village in the district Panipat. At that time, when I was in my school, there were no facilities in the village. How could we have gained any talent or something like that? But from the very beginning, I believe in changing the mindset, in changing my thoughts, adjusting according to the situation. I started reading a lot of books about world leaders, about renowned authors. And those things, those reading habit changed my mindset. And I started believing that I can achieve whatever I want to achieve in my life. And today I am a practicing chartered accountant. I have my own practice in Delhi and I'm fulfilling all my dreams, all my aspirations, but just by changing my mindset throughout my life. And this is the motto I'm following in my life further too. I have joined Toastmaster also because I want to enhance my public communication skills, my leadership skills, and I have dreams. So yes, your over to you, table topic master Parveez.
Yeah, thank you very much, Toastmaster Binu Tyagi. Very well said. That is the mindset that changes the entire game. Okay, thank you very much. May I request Shakti Prasad to come on the spotlight? And there is a topic for you. Shakti
Hi
Prasad,
everyone.
are you there?
Hi everyone. Yeah.
Hi, Shakti.
Thank you.
So the topic for you is a very easy topic. I think you will enjoy that. The most important lesson a school never taught me. The most important lesson a school never taught me. Guest Shakti. Are you audible? Can you?
Yes, I am audible. Yes, sir.
Well, okay, thank you very much. You please go ahead.
Yes, usually in our, school days and all. So mainly they focus on the education and, I mean, uh, the topics it is there in the books only. So in the practically, it will be different. Whatever we see in the, school and all, it will be a science, social, or whatever. History and all, it will be a theoretical only. But we will miss field knowledge that is in the school levels. So if any activities we have to do means after our school days only. Whenever you go outside also, whenever we see the nature or any other it is there. So we have to go outside only. Then only we can see that whatever if it is comes to that for example if you take as an history the history in the between they talk about the any temples or monuments and all. So that we would only see in the theoretically or in the this one, we will not come to know that. But if you go particular into the historical place and all, we come to know the who construct and how construct, and we can depict the theory into the practical knowledge. So parallelly, that will enhance our students level or this one in our mindset. So this is the missing part what we are in the taught in the school levels. So the once it is completed, so we that will our activity will be more in the as we grown up. That will be the changes in the practical and in the theoretical in the school level. That's what I am thinking. So thank you.
Thank you very much, guest Shakti. Very well described that the practical aspect is missing many a times in this, and you have got the benefit out of it. Can I take one more guest?
I think we already accommodated 6. So
okay, time is over.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Purvis, for such an amazing table topic section. Now, I would like to go back to our theme. There's a poll, please vote. Okay. Now, to go back to the theme, how many of you think that Ravana really had 10 heads? Ravan had 10 heads. How many of you think? Okay, nobody think that's a wonderful thing. That it is true. He never had 10 heads. And he was never wearing them. His throne was exactly like that. If you have seen a Game of Thrones, you can imagine like that kind of throne that was like made for making him terrifying. Exactly. It was way more elaborate in designing the way his throne was. It was more elaborate in that sense with different arms, different heads. But even obviously he never was. So it was just a way to show him as terrifying as possible, as a metaphor, as a way. Obviously, the person might be completely different. Second was when the battle happened, we always thought about like, did he really had like 100 heads? Like Ramana, when he was shooting the arrow, his head really got chopped off and new head really appears, because in the movies we all saw that, in the books we all saw that. Actually it was 100 arrows. It was 100 arrows, not 100 heads. He was trying, obviously Lord Rama was unmatched when it comes to archery and a lot of other weapons that he was using. His skills were unmatched, but it always has worked, but it didn't work on Ravana. So that's why he was shooting 100 arrows. Even after that, his head didn't cut. Okay, let you speak. And after that, he changed his weapon. He changed a different arrow, a different technique that he applied, and eventually hit his heart, and then he died. So that's what happened. Okay, Anand, Toastmaster Anand.
To prepare for the theme today, I was going through a comedy critic video of Adi Purush yesterday on YouTube. And one thing that peculiarly stood out, I don't know whether Ravana had 10 heads or 1 head. He certainly didn't have 2 double-decker of 5 heads, as was depicted in Adi Purush. Over to you.
That's definitely true. He definitely had only 1 head, and it was just a way to show him terrifying instead of the reality. And second, as I said, like there were a lot of lot of details that were edited out, so that it will be made for everyone and people won't feel any awkwardness. So when Kumkaran was waking up, he wasn't described. He was definitely described as a giant, but in a metaphorical way, in a literary sense, not exactly in an actual reality of it. So he was described as a giant who was hard to wake up, and he has a psychological disorder where he sleeps for many days and wake up only then. And his diet was very different. We saw like laddus and all of that, the sweets that was offered to him. Eventually, they were not sweets; they were buffalo meat. They were different kinds of meat and blood for him to wake him up. That was the Rakshasas' diet. And that's why they were called Rakshasas. And something that really was spectacular, and I couldn't understand, like, is this true? That they were all vegetarians. Even Lord Rama was, non-vegetarian. They were all non-vegetarians in the Vedic times. And this is true that they used to eat deer meat. And deer meat is supposed to be the most healthiest and is considered Vedic because of its quality of meat. And that's why we don't have deer anymore. They all ate them. Yes.
Yeah, Toastmaster Jaspreet. I totally agree that as you're saying that Ravana doesn't really have 10 head and it's just a way of representation. Now, why is the case? Because the amount of power and the knowledge Ravan had, it was supposed to be the equivalent of 10 individuals or 10 people. That's why each of the head is a representation of the Vedas or the Sastras that he basically carries in himself. And that's the way of representation. So that's how, the 10 heads you see, because each of the heads is representing something.
I definitely agree with that. Each head might be represented in a literary sense rather
Yeah,
than
so
in an exact sense.
so Ravan was a great scholar, as you know. He was a great devotee of Lord Shiva. So he was very knowledgeable. If you go to South, they basically devote Ravana because he was a great supremacy. Though I mean, as per our own this thing, what I'll say, the knowledge banks and the history, they represent him as a power of demon. He was, as you also mentioned, he was not a demon, but the deeds were demon. That's why we say it was always good against the evil. He represented evil. That's why his description and the aura has been represented in that sense. Because if you see the movies or the web series these days, how you define a demon or a devil? So you see, he carries anger, he carries guns, he carries swords. You have recently seen the movie Animal. So that's a representation of demon in every age and every sense. There is a representation, and basically that's how we start representing and doing an imaginary thought of it. Coming to your point, the original Ramayana was written in Sanskrit by what I mean, just forgot the name.
Valmiki.
Yeah, Lord Valmiki. Whereas there are 300 different, I'll say, reoccurrences of that original Ramayana that were written across as the ages have come. And Ramayana is not only being preached in India, whereas if you go to the South Asian countries, they have different forms where they follow Ramayana because that has a huge influence. And if you go and see it there, you might be seeing a different representation of it.
Yes, very true. Now, coming back to the point that I don't, nothing is good written about Ravan, to be honest, in the book, at least in the podcast series that I watched. He was definitely the son of a rishi, but his mother was a Rakshashni. I mean, the cruel, the people who, anyway, and his character was very differently described as we actually learned in all these cases. Like, he definitely became a king on his own. He was definitely not born into a katashriya, I think the word, my pronunciation.
Kshatriya.
I'm sorry. The kings and those people who are trained in weaponry, right?
Kshatriya, not Katashriya.
They are called Kshatriyas.
I'm not someone who's good in Hindi and Sanskrit. Let's be straight. And that is why he definitely made himself a king, but he was not just cruel, but also his deeds were very bad, and very rarely we get to see the wise side of him. I don't remember any place where I read anything wise spoken by him. It was completely unwise. So it was very differently described, but definitely in many other, because people really like to add their own spin. So it was described in many other retellings differently. The other one I would like to point out, and I will end after this, I won't take much time. So this is one part that is the coolest for people who really like to see wars, right? Who doesn't like to see action? And this action is not exactly as visible when we watch movies, when we watch or even read, because the books are even trying to take it out. So we don't get to see the real action. It was really brutal, and and the war is completely described in a very strategic sense. So when you actually read or study it, you get to see the strategic battle that was really planned, pre-planned. Like they had 4 gates, and which gate what's going to happen, this going to happen. So every single thing was super planned, and you really get to see the strategic side of it that we don't get to see in the movies. We just get to see the battle happen and over, won. And but obviously we don't get to see the real battle. And I would highly recommend going onto that channel. It's by Beer Bicep Ranveer show. You can just type Ramayana, Valmiki Ramayana, and it will pop up. There are 4 parts. So this is it. If you have any favorite memories of Ramayana or favorite parts that you absolutely love and adore, what part would it be? So I want to ask that. Anybody want to share?
Yeah, I think I remember from my childhood, we used to have in the community those Ram Leela, right? I used to look forward to that, and sometimes could act smaller roles, but it was highly enjoyable. And that reminds me of that funny movie, Jaane Bhi To Yaro, and that scene that amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great.
I have been watching a few Ramayana web series or TV series, and sometimes even cartoon series along with my young son. Regretfully, my son gets most inspired by the villainous characters. And when we ask moral of the story, he literally says, "Hum Rakshas hai." I'm trying to just get him out of the entertainment and push him towards the learning part.
So Ramayana was first read in 1986 when this Ramayana and Sagar serial was first aired. That times there were very minimum TVs. I mean, none. I mean, everyone doesn't have the privilege of having TVs at that time. And when it was aired for the first time, you will literally see the silence on the streets where everyone was in front of the TV for that half an hour or 1 hour. I can't really remember what was the duration of the show that time. And it was such a big thing at that point of time where everyone used to, even I have seen in my house where my mother used to finish all the work and all, and there were people from my neighbors and all, because they were specifically wanted to see show without any interruption. All the children were fed with the breakfast before that, and everything was done and dusted, so that there will be no voice or no noise from anyone, and they can totally focus on that. So that's one of the profound memories that I can think of.
We even used to keep footwear outside the room where
Yeah.
it's placed.
Wow.
No, even
In
I
my
didn't know about
in
the
my
story.
Yes.
in my
Yeah.
childhood, yes, in my childhood, I also remember, that time the show is coming in DT National, Doordarshan National. That time we watch, that Ramayan also. So I remember that topic only, that things that Ram together also wherever they are going, the bonding of brother Ram and Lakshman. That things I remember in Ramayan.
So, Jaspreet, I will also like to
Thank you.
share my story. During my childhood, I was studied from a pure Hindi medium school, Sanskrit. I was studied in my childhood. My Guruji name was Shri Krishna Dev Mishra Ji. My school name was Sadhana Mandir. And just behind the school, there was a mandir and there was a mutt. And my Guruji used to stay in that. Guruji was a very young person that time, not a very old Guruji. Maybe he was in graduation or something. So he used to call me in the mutt. I used to go deep into his room. It was a little bit below the surface of the floor. The room was a little bit down, and he used to sit on the that bed chauki, chauki, and I used to sit on the floor. Then he used to start the story of entire Ramayana, how that Kekai did all the machinations and all, how he went to the Vanvas and all those things. So it was very interesting. It reminds me of my childhood. I have learned a lot from my Guruji, and still I respect him a lot. Even after 40 years of this journey has gone, in the past, but I still am in touch. So it is more a kind of learning about good, how good Lord Ram was, and how Sita was pious, and Hanuman, and all those things, that devotion and loyalty and everything was great. So that reminds me of my school days and my childhood. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
golden
even
memories. I mean, I'm sorry we have less time, so I need to really wrap up. We can definitely discuss after the meeting.
Yeah.
And so one thing I'd like to just end with very few lines, that the entire Ramana is all about Ram's journey. This is a biography written by Valmiki. And one thing, because only in the last book, we get to see the Yudh Kand, the actual Ravan, and the entire story is really not about that. The entire story is really about Ram's and his struggles, and how, and the picture and the way he uses his mind, his skills, and so many, and specifically his emotional balance is really something that I admire a lot. His emotional state, even when he was at times when Sita got abducted, that was the only time when he broke. And that is why actually she was abducted. She was not abducted because of her beauty. She was abducted so that they can weaken Ram. And Sita's character is not like damsel in distress. Oh, she is such a, no, she actually fought Ravan. She was even in a fist fight, sort of, and she was really more stronger than is depicted in the story. And the way she interact with others is very, very different than the what is shown in the movies. So the raw drama is the characters. That's why Lord Hanuman actually started to feel the devotion. It's not from already they were, because we saw like he already was a devotee because he was Shiva and they were Vishnu. Those were just comparisons, how good that their mind was, how good they were pure. Because of their purity, because of their mind, because of how they acted and treated others, that's what made Lord Hanuman such a big devotee to both of them. So I will end this and let me hand over the screen to Toastmaster Parvez, our president.
General evaluator.
I have not done the evaluation, so let's call the
Sorry.
general
Yeah.
evaluator.
Sorry, I forgot.
No
Okay.
issue. No issue.
Now let me hand over the stage to our general evaluator, Sanchita. Where is she?
Yeah,
Unforgettable
here I
Sanchita.
am.
Okay.
That's all right. Thank you so much, Jaspreet. So basically, in the Toastmaster ritual, we have so in Toastmaster, basically we have a ritual to close the meeting by giving the feedback, so that we get what we have come for. So basically, to improve ourselves. So in order to do that, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Ifat, who has evaluated our speaker, Toastmaster Amit. Ifat, I'd like to, hand over the stage to you for now.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sanjita. In a world of chaos and unanswered questions, something visible that guides us. Today, Toastmaster Amit shared his story of faith in destiny. And yes, faith can move mountains. To support his uh, beginning comment, he gave us two life example of his life. The first one was when he was going to give his 12th grade exam, and he prepared for the exam he read out while he was traveling in the bus for 30 minutes, and he found out most of the question he got from that 30 minutes he prepared to. So that is something miraculous. So it is a miracle, and also it's a very relatable story. Sometimes it happens in our lives. Also, he gave one more example about his life, that he somehow went to feed some of the animals, and he was late to catch up his flight, and it was seemed like that destiny was supporting him. and that when he found out his flight was also delayed. So that was a very nice story of him. He has given two examples. And also, he ends up his speech while saying, if you keep doing good things, your bad time never comes. So his speech title was Believe in Divine, a Personal Exploration, then his opening statement, and then there is a transition in his story, and then how he ended his story with a takeaway message. All the things needed for the good speech, he has there was everything was there in the speech. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I liked how he given his live example and kept us engaged in his story. However, his project was level 2, in which he has to understand his communication styles. So there are 4 communication styles according to Toastmasters website. Those are direct, supportive, analytical, and initiative. That part was missing. In Toastmaster, we need to go by the projects, whatever required from the speaker. So although his story was very inspiring, I really liked it, but the speech objectives has not been met. So I would request him to deliver again this project, and he can give this speech with a few adjustment to another level or project. With this, thank you so much. Back to you.
Sanjita, your turn.
Yeah, sorry. So next, I would like to call upon my tag team. I'd like to call timer Ravinder. Ravinder, can you be on the stage and present your
Thanks, Toastmaster Sanjita. So, just to save time, everyone concluded their speeches and evaluation very much in time. So, kudos to all of you. I've just posted the report in chat. So you can go through that. I posted the timer. The formatting is not correct. I'll post it again, but everyone was very much within the time. Guys, kudos to you. Back to you, Sanjay.
Please post in public chat. I could not see that.
I will. Yes. Yeah, I will. Sure.
All right. So next we have our counter, Jaideep. Jaideep, can you?
Yeah. Thank you, Toastmaster Sanjita. So let me share my screen. Yeah. So as you can see in my screen that I have prepared the report and Utkarsh Sharma, and I couldn't find any or long or short pauses from his speech. Then Toastmaster Parvez as a table topic master, I found one and no other sort of long pauses. Jaspreet as a Toastmaster of the day, I was able to find 2 1 well, 1 and she has repeated lot of only this one word, lot of. Then Amit as a speaker, I found only one so and no other short or long pauses. Toastmaster Ifat as a speech evaluator, I found one one air, two so, and no short or long pauses. Ravindra Kumar as a timer, I couldn't find any or short pauses. To Anand as a grammarian, also I didn't find anything. Sanjita as a general evaluator, I found only one Then Nimit as a table topic speaker, I couldn't find any challenge. The Raj Benugopal as a tabletop speaker, I found one air, one and one short pause. And how much this word also was repeated. Then Sameep also there is no flaw. Javed, I found one Then Sakti Prasad, I found one and one air. So this is my overall report, and I would like to hand over stage back to Toastmaster Sanjita.
Thank you so much, Jaideep, for such a detailed report. Now, I'd like to call upon our grammarian, Toastmaster Anand. Anand, over to you.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Let me start with the good news. The idiom of the day was spoken once each by you as General Evaluator, Parvez and Ifat. Let's have a round of applause for these three wise people, courageous people. Another good news I can probably highlight is the fact that I learned something from Jaspreet today. And that was the word, the pronunciation of the word often spoken as mythology. It's mythology or mythology, as is the British or Indian pronunciation. It's myth, so mythology, or in American pronunciation, it gets to become mythology, but never mythology. She also spoken forest dwellers, edited out, etc. Parvez gave a beautiful word, moonlighting. I'm sure those who come from IT background, they understand what moonlighting is. A couple of another good usages were also from Nimit, aspiring entrepreneur, venturing into. Binu said the word mindset, while Shakti spoke these couple of good words, construct and enhance. Good job, everyone. What we can improve upon is the way we say certain few phrases. For example, there is one phrase, slow down me. Usually in these phrasal verbs, after the main verb, the pronoun or noun comes in between, and then the preposition. So slow down me could become slow me down. Builders in that particular sentence could have been replaced with architects. There was one incorrect attempt to speak the idiom of the day as speech move mountains. Kshatriya was pronounced as Katakshriya or something like that. There was also one word, mahal, which could have been said as palace. This is a pet peeve. We have been covering it in the last few meetings, and we will cover it today as well. The pronunciation of some names. Let's be extra careful about them. It's Parvez Izhar, not Izhar. It is also Amit Singhal, not Singla. We have another member with surname Singla in Turning Point, our very good friend Neeraj Singla, but here we have Amit Singhal. There is also pronunciation mistake around this S sound or X sound. Observe was pronounced as observe, and example was pronounced as example. The rule of thumb around it is, if you have a G or J, it's always J. If you have a Z or possibility of an S or X sound coming towards that domain, it's always Z, as in ghazal. And this is beyond comparison. This never becomes like the J sound will be pronounced as Z, or an S or Z sound will be pronounced as J. Never. So we can keep it very, very clear. That reduces the chance for incorrections. One last correction on I'm fully on that. It was a half conveyed meaning. I'm fully in favor of that, or I am in full support of that. So I'm fully on that is half meaning. So are you fully supporting it or are you fully against it? It's not clear. Overall, it was a great meeting. Today, we did not have any content versus content mistake for sure. Thank you so much for that. And good job, everyone. Feel proud that we have learned something today. And once again, great job by Jaspreet Kaur Taneja, by her pronounced and refined pronunciation and diction. I certainly learned mythology or mythology instead of mythology. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Anand, so much for such a detailed report. Now it's my time to give the feedback for all the remaining role players. So I'll start with the presiding officer, Miss Toastmaster Parvez. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly now. So you, Parvez, Toastmaster Parvez, you have basically played your role very diligently. You have welcomed everyone. You have set the tone of the meeting. It was very encouraging. And plus the thing, just give me a minute. So you set the tone of the meeting, which helped the guest also to become very friendly. Basically, you ask the guest to introduce themselves, so which help them to get a little bit probably for lack of better words, become friendly with the participants or the role players. Next, I'd like to move to TM Modi, Jaspreet. Jaspreet, what a amazing topic, I would say. I would never, well, not never, I don't have that much of time right now that that I would go and watch Valmiki's Ramayan, because I have heard, of course, like in my college time, we have heard that there are different versions of Ramayana, but I have never explored this sector of basically how do you call it, history or mythology, because of various reasons, because I felt like I can go into this area later on. But thank you so much for introducing the topic. It has helped me, and in fact the audience as well, to remain hooked. I see there was a very all of us were so engaged, all of us were so invested in the entire topic, and plus I could see people were very enthusiastic to talk in between as well. I guess that's because of the topic that you have chosen, and kudos for that. And I also loved the way you have carried the topic entirely in the meeting. At first you have given the reference from where you are coming from, or where you have get the got all those learnings from, and the second that you have given the picture reference to all of us, so that we also relate to it, whatever you were saying. And thirdly, at the end, you have said that how these characters are actually related to actual human beings, and how we can actually go and explore to learn more about them, because after all, we learn from our histories and past experiences, right? So thank you so much for giving such a relatable choosing such a relatable topic, at least, because we always see I feel like when we are seeing someone as God, we always think like they would not have personal problems, or they would not behave as human, right? So, but you have completely flipped that narrative. And of course, I'm going and, going to listen to 21 notes. I'm sorry, I have just written it down. I'll of course text you for that YouTube video. Yeah, coming back to Toastmaster Parvez again, thank you so much for choosing such amazing topics. I think those are really relevant at today's time, at least like from after the COVID, it has this moonlighting and all has become so relevant. So thank you so much for choosing such kind of topics, so that we know what opinion everyone holds. And also your topic has made everyone speak about. I guess like the guests were also not reluctant to speak, because they were relatable, and all of us have opinion about the topics that you have chosen. Now with that, I would also like to talk about the role players. I feel like my tag team, basically. I feel the tag team has done amazing job, but I'd like to highlight one thing to Timer. I think, Ravinder, it would be great if you could, whenever you are talking or describing about your role, you could, flash your green cards, red and yellow cards for the guests, because for us, the people who are already the members, they know what it is, but who are coming for the first time, at least they will have a understanding, as in understanding what a green card looks like, what a yellow card looks like, and so on. And lastly, when you're giving your evaluation as well, I would suggest you to, probably make a note sheet and then share it with us, so that it becomes easier for us to, basically visual representation is much more better than sometimes verbal verbals, putting it verbally, right? So I guess like that would be better. And coming back to our counter, I guess like in certain cases where there are no R's, and other filler words, you can just keep and summarize it that XYZ had no R's, and other filler words. And then focus back on the people who have used all those things. So that would save us time. And grammarian Anand, I don't have anything to say to you because I'm learning from you, so I don't have any feedback for you, of course. So to summarize, I feel the meeting went really well and it was really smooth. And the transition from from one part of the story to other was also very smooth. We didn't feel like there are like a lot of things, a lot of characters are there, and we have adhered to the timeline, and plus I guess the meeting, the guests were also comfortable, and the meeting started with a positive note, and I feel it has that energy is still there. I still feel that there's a positive vibe, and yeah, that's all from my side. Over to you. My bad. Who do I hand over the stage to?
TMOD.
TMOD. Jaspreet.
Sure. Thank you, General Evaluator, for a great evaluation, and thank you for all that feedback. Now I'll just end with one line and I will hand over to Pio. That I know many of us consider it as mythology for a long time because it already has like a lot of like yogic powers or this or that. We don't believe that it might be real. But if you study the Valmiki Ramayana, you will actually see why this is called history. And that's why I shared the link. And in the entire channel, you will find this ending line that iti has, the way you say it. So they consider it history. And those people who study it, they actually get offended when you say mythology. So just be mindful. And that is it. I hope you like it, and I'm sure you will love the. I would recommend checking the podcast, and this channel is great as well. Now over to you, Toastmaster Parvez.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Jaspreet. So today's atmosphere was filled with spirituality and divinity. I fully agree with you, Toastmaster Jaspreet. The Ramayana is not merely a tale of kings and battles. It's a mirror to our own lives. Every character, whether it is Ram's obedience, Sita's purity, Lakshman's loyalty, Hanuman's devotion, or Ravan's ego, teaches us timeless lessons. The dilemmas they face, the choices they make, and the consequences they accept all resonate deeply with us even today. So thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Jaspreet, for conducting such an engaging and well-organized session. A big round of applause to Jaspreet. Kudos to all the speakers, evaluators, role players, and of course, our guests. I would like to thank our guests once again for joining the session. However, I request them to give their feedback on today's meeting. So shall I request guest Raj Venugopal to give his feedback?
Yeah, today's session was very engaging and really appreciate the way it has been conducted. However, the topic which has been chosen by Jaspreet Kaur is a very, very difficult topic. It's a very complex topic, and she did fairly well. But having said that, so it's a topic which has multiple connotations and multiple, kind of dimensions. So, and she has conducted in a good way, yeah. But more can be done on that. So because it's a topic which is it touches the heart and soul of every Indian, for that matter, universal. So it has to be handled in a very subtle and very delicate way. So that's my feedback. All the best. However, you did a good job. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rajgopalji. May I request Shakti Prasad to give his feedback?
Yeah. Thank you. So just going to give a nice presentation and in thoughts of which is not known by us actually. So whatever we saw in the TV and in our regular this one that is the actual Ramayana we saw. So few things identified how Ravana looks like and Hanuman and all. So that is also one of the different things. So different from anyway, that it will be. I know that in every Ramayana, in every location, every area, it will be different from location to locations as it grown up. So this is also one of the so many authors are written. So this is one of the author. He written and in his own way and in his mindset as well. So it is a overall. It is a nice and nice to hear different topic. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Shakti Prasad. May I request Abhishek Kumar to give his feedback? You are on mute, Abhishek.
Oh, sorry. Actually, I said that the entire group was very participating, and I feel that being a part of the Toastmaster Club would definitely help me to grow the uh, topics that were given to the speakers were nice, and I don't think the speakers would have, you know, felt any difficulty handling handling any issues when speaking with those topics. So yeah, overall the content was very good and it was very encouraging.
Thank you very much. Then guest Binu Tyagi, please give your feedback, please.
Yeah. Hi. It was a very engaging session, and the topic was a little bit complicated too. I do believe that. And I think history after few years or after 100 or 1000 of years becomes a mythology. We can take the example of Mahatma Gandhi. There are different narratives around him. And that is just not more than 100 of years ago. So I can say that like history after a long time gets subjective, and faith can move mountains, yes. And every mountain is subjective for every person, and so does our faith and belief. And very well handled by the TM Audi. Kudos to you. That's great.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other guest who is left for the feedback?
Not a guest.
Zabid, I think you have given the feedback. Zabid, I think.
Zabid is pending.
Zabid is pending, yeah. Zabid, please come on the virtual stage and give your feedback. You are on mute, Zabid. Zabid, you are on mute. Still on mute. Zabid, we are not able to have. Now it is okay.
Hi, sorry. In the meantime, actually, my phone's battery was dead. So I'm sorry to everyone.
No problem.
The topic is very difficult. Actually, Ramayan is, very interesting. Yeah. But in our childhood, I was watching that TV, but then after I couldn't read about Ramayan. But it's an interesting character. All because in the TV, we lots of learn the shows like bonding brothers and everything. And my colleagues also we are discussing about Ram Chandran, and he's called Purushottam Ram. I very he is a very good man, trusted and faithful everyone for in the so this was the result.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
I think we have covered all the guests. So, that this brings us to the end of the session. And thank you
the
all
results.
very much. And now I would like to announce the results. Auxiliary role player. Any guess? For auxiliary role player, any guess?
Anand.
Anant.
Yes, very, very correct. So it is a Toastmaster Anand. Then role player, any guess?
Best role player.
Jaspreet, yeah, Jaspreet, TMOD. Because wonderful session she has conducted, a lot of energy, a lot of inspiration, a lot of knowledge, so and a lot of learnings. And table topic speaker, who your guess is? So it is none other than Nimit Mittal, who has hit directly on the nail, and it was a wonderful way he had explained how the moonlighting is to be done and what are the benefits. So this concludes the meeting of today.
I'll be stopping the recording, but we are over here.